Welcome back to another episode of Teslamonial Wisconsin. I'm here with Henry. Henry has owned a Tesla for quite a few years, so we're going to jump into that. So, Henry, tell me about the make, model of your Tesla and how long you've owned it.
I've had a Model 3 since 2018. It's kind of an impulse buy, if I'm being honest. I mean, after you do a test drive, who doesn't? But yeah, I fell in love with the Model 3 right after a test drive and signed within a couple hours. I was out of there.
Speaking of the actual, you said that you signed. Can you talk to me about the buying process? Because I'm curious how buying a Tesla today is different than buying it in 2018.
Oh boy, well, I haven't bought a Tesla since I still have my Model 3. The process was fairly smooth because, well, so I was told, maybe too naive, but there was no haggling, right? Like, it's the price that you saw on the sticker, it was like they wouldn't budge from it, like not even a couple hundred either way. So
to be specific here, because we live in Wisconsin and we don't have dealerships here, that's what I'm curious about. Did you go to the Tesla gallery in Milwaukee? Did that not exist yet? Did you go to Chicago, Illinois?
Yep.
How did you buy it on a phone, on a computer? Did you have a salesman? How did that process go?
Yeah, yep. So I don't believe the gallery was up and running in Milwaukee yet. I bought it in Illinois. I can't remember, one of the north suburbs. And it was with a, like a salesman to some extent. I don't think they call him that, but I just went to the showroom. I did a test drive, like I said, and then a couple hours later I was signing papers and leaving. So from that regard, it was pretty straightforward.
Have you bought other non-Tesla cars at a dealership before?
No.
Okay, because it sounds almost like a normal process. You went to a dealership, you test drove it, you had a salesman, and you did some paperwork in person.
Yeah, yep.
Okay. Today, at least for us, none of that happened. We went and test drove the car. They told us to buy it on our cell phone. So we used our cell phone and went to the app, and then you pick the car, you go through it, and then once you hit buy it, it takes you to a whole new page, and that's where you can set up your bank to do your deposit. You can connect documents to put your insurance, to make all those connections. You can even do financing on your phone for the car. So it's all done on your phone. There is no people that you had to talk to. There is no nothing. Introvert's dream.
Yeah, well, it might be because of the fact that people were trying to maybe try to get a deal out of the vehicles in person. If you're doing it through an app, there's no way to no, I'm not going to pay that, right? I want to pay a little less. I misunderstood your question, Carl. I have bought vehicles before at regular dealerships, and the process was smoother with Tesla, even though it was kind of the same like in person, just because of the fact that I didn't have to do the haggling, right? Like
which is nice.
Yeah.
There's no games going along with it.
Exactly.
Okay. Did you get the car, did you buy it and drive away with the car, or did you have to wait a certain period to get your car?
No, I had to wait 2018, so they were selling quick and selling well. So I did have to wait. I can't remember if it was like 2 weeks or a month, because I wanted the blue, I wanted specific color and with the black interior, and they didn't have them available yet.
So because we don't live in Illinois, you bought it, you went back to Wisconsin. Did you then have to go back to Illinois to pick it up?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, so I had 2 vehicles at the time, and so I drove with someone else down to Illinois to pick the vehicle up and drove back home on my brand new Tesla.
Nice. Okay, awesome. Next question will be about your ownership experience. So you've had the car longer than most Tesla owners that I know of. Have you had, how has maintenance been? How has your range anxiety been? Let's start with maintenance. Have you had a lot of maintenance issues in your experience?
I think you and I talked about this one before you bought yours. Forgive the timeline. I can't remember if it was 6 months in or 12 months in, but I think it was about 6 months in. I knew I had like 40, 50, maybe 60% charge left in the car when I parked it at home. I went to bed and woke up, tried to get going to work the next day, and the battery was dead. And so I started going through my head like, oh man, was it really that low? And I didn't have a charger in this particular home, so I was really gonna be kind of screwed. Pardon my French. And But then I realized that something had happened because on the app it did show like some warnings that I hadn't seen yet. So I called Tesla or I got in contact with someone from Tesla, and they were actually really, really good to work with in terms of like I told them what had happened, and they're like, "Wow, that's interesting." And then they could check from their end like what had happened somehow through computers and stuff, and they said, yeah, there was your car did seem like it was like running all night long, and so anyway, long story short, there was some sort of a short on like one of the many battery packs that was constantly kind of calling for energy, and yeah, that the battery died because of that. So Tesla arranged for a tow truck to come get it. They took it down to Illinois, to where I bought it from. They did want me to go back to Illinois to pick it up, and I am like, I'm not doing that. It wasn't my fault. It was kind of a manufacturer defect.
Right.
And they were very nice about kind of meeting me in the middle. So we met in Milwaukee. I did have to drive to Milwaukee to pick my car up, but that was one major maintenance, I think, incident that I had, but it was very early on.
I assume it cost you nothing.
Yeah, no, it was $0. And then the other one I had, again, very early on in my experience with my vehicle was, I think I have a video of this still, but my screen would like start flickering purple, and I didn't really know. Like I tried doing the reset of the vehicle, and I did contact Tesla again about it. They said do the reset, and that didn't really help. But with one of the patches, I think that kind of fixed itself. So it didn't really bother me, other than it's kind of annoying to have a purple line go across the screen.
Yeah.
It wasn't a hardware thing though. It was it seemed to have been software related. And then the one big thing that I would warn most, and I have maybe a heavy foot or lead foot, whatever it's called, and I've had to replace my tires, I think twice or maybe 3 times now. Maybe just for reference, I've got about 76,000 miles on the vehicle, so it's a lot more than I'd like to be changing tires. But the whole structure of the vehicle, why it's it's heavy, right, because of the battery being on the bottom. Haven't really
instant torque.
Yeah, the instant torque, right? Like all that plays into it, right? Is how you drive it. But wasn't really looking forward to having to spend whatever that is, 1,200 miles, or 1,200 miles, $1,200 like 3 times now for the tires.
Right. Yeah, that is definitely inconvenient. But so we got battery, and then tires. And there was one other one.
The battery, tires, and then the screen
display.
Yep.
But
other than
in
that,
7 years, not too terrible. I mean, obviously
Yeah,
people
no.
want nothing,
Yeah,
but not
right.
too terrible. And the screen was covered under warranty as well. So your only out of pocket was your tires.
Yep.
Okay.
Pretty much. Everyone knows there's no oil changes, nothing to that regard. The occasional, per the manual, you have to change the cabin filter and some other things that only have to be done like every 2 or 3 years or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Range anxiety. How has your range anxiety gone from the beginning of your ownership to now? Your fear of going distances because of the electric car.
Man, that's a good question, because lately I've been suffering a little bit from range anxiety, and I'm, like you said in the video earlier, I'm about 7 years into the ownership of it.
So it's kind of like a bell curve. Maybe it was worse in the beginning, then it got better, and now it's getting worse again?
Yeah, and I think the main reason for that is, so in the beginning, it was kind of the getting used to it factor, right? So you don't know, like you think like if it's at 20 or 30%, you're like, man, I really need to stop somewhere to charge. Well, I'm more comfortable now, like taking it down. I've taken it down as far as like 5%. I don't recommend that for anxiety purposes, but I've taken it down to 5%, knowing that I'll make it by the time I get there with that. And I don't know, for most Tesla owners, the percentage and the miles, it's not very clear to know. At least I haven't taken the time to figure it out yet, I guess. It's not very clear to know. I can't believe it stopped for that. Wow, it's pretty cool.
Henry isn't used to FSD, so he's in one of his first times in the driver's seat in modern FSD. We had a person walking in the road waiting for us, and the car stopped for that person.
Yeah, that was cool. So So again, the anxiety there was like not really knowing like how much can I trust the mileage, or
Right,
the
how
percentage.
accurate is it?
Exactly, I've learned over the years with the car that if it says you're gonna get there with about 10% at the beginning of your mapping your road trip, it really is within like that plus or minus, let's say 4 to 5%, depending on how you're driving and condition of the weather and stuff.
Fairly accurate then.
Yeah, lately, because I've had it for now almost the 8-year mark. 8 years is when the battery warranty expires. So my anxiety has been more on the fact that it has, when I fully charge it, before it used to go to 313 miles, I think, for a range. Now it goes up to like 260 something max, right? So I've lost close to, I can't do the math right now in my head,
50
but it's
miles
like,
in range.
More than that, right? So 313, so about 40 some miles it's lost in range.
I said 50.
Oh, sorry, I thought you said 50. My bad.
No worries.
So it is close, or it is past what I thought the threshold of allowed degradation of the battery was, but apparently that's normal. So the range anxiety, is for long-winded answer is the fact that I no longer can trust the percentage and the mile range as much as I used to before. I've noticed now that span that I told you of 3 to 5%.
Yeah, it's grown.
It's grown, yeah. Now, I think lately too, I've been using it a lot. It's my only vehicle now, so I do use it a lot more, and I'm trying to kind of maybe not have to charge every time or all every day. So maybe a little bit of both there, but overall, I think you get used to it, right? Like anything, we adapt to our environment, so you just adapt to what that means for you.
Okay. Interesting to hear that you're alternating or affecting your charging based up because you're concerned about battery degradation.
Mm-hmm.
So you have a battery. I don't even know do you know what kind of battery you have?
I do not know.
That's all right.
I used to know that, but
I assume, I don't know how old like LFP batteries go. That's going to be my guess. When you charge, do you charge to 100?
No, I do the 80%, right? So I go to 80.
That's what the
85.
recommended was?
Yep.
Okay. Because Tesla has different batteries,
Yeah.
and I don't know in 2018, but even now, depending on where in the world you buy it, and depending on what make, model, trim you have, you can have LFP batteries, which they recommend you go all the way to 100% when you charge, but then they have NCM and NCA or something like that, and those batteries, they recommend that you only charge to like 80%. Those are like nickel phosphate or something. I forgot. I'm terrible at this, but okay. So you're affecting your frequency or your schedule of charging just because you're concerned more about battery degradation.
Yeah. Yep.
Do you have a charger at home now?
Oh yeah. Yep. I've had one when I moved out of my older home that I owned when I first bought the vehicle to the new one, which I've been in for 5+ years. I put in a charger right away. I knew I was going to if I moved or when I moved.
Yeah.
It just makes sense. I think overall, that certainly helps with the anxiety factor, right? Like not having to depend on charging somewhere or at work or whatever.
It's actually one of my favorite things about owning a Tesla. I mean, FSD is one of the top things I love about this.
Yep.
But the other thing is the fact that we have a charger at home. So the moniker these days for Tesla is ABC, always be charging. So you're supposed to plug your car in all the time. And I plug it in and I have it set to 80%, so it's always, so every time I get in the car, it's always full, and I absolutely love that. So every day it's full. It's not like some mornings you wake up, you're like, oh my God, I have to go get gas before work or something like that because you keep putting it off. Like I'm on fumes. Like it's every day it's full, and I love that. So it's interesting.
Yeah, I don't charge every day for sure.
That would be, that would affect your enjoyment of the ownership. I could see that. Did you have, or do you have other cars? I mean, you said your Tesla's your everyday car. Do you have another car that you guys drive once in a while?
No, I had 2 vehicles, but now we're down to just the Model 3 for now.
Okay. How has it been in winter with snow and the cold and stuff? Has that affected how has your experience of winter been with your Tesla? Because we live in Wisconsin.
Yeah, we live in Wisconsin. It gets cold, snowy, icy at times, or most of the winter. That's a good question, Carlos. I've had good experiences where like I couldn't believe that the car handled itself the way it did, And I've had other experiences where, it's probably due to the whole tire discussion that we had, but I've had experiences when, like, if it doesn't know if it's going to hit an icy patch, of course.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's like about to decelerate, that motion of like the aggressive deceleration to do the recharging of the battery,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes kind of affects how the car reacts, like if it is going over an icy patch. So like, it kind of like jerks a bit.
Gets squirrely.
Yeah, yep.
And you have the rear-wheel drive version, right?
No, I have
You have
all-wheel
all-wheel.
drive, yeah.
All-wheel
I
drive
made sure
Model 3.
about all-wheel drive just because we do live in Wisconsin.
Right.
Yep.
Snow. Okay.
Yep.
I can see that. So that affects. Do you have range issues in winter with the cold, or?
Oh yeah. So yeah, and gas vehicles experience, less performance in terms of like you're blasting your heater and everything. So for sure, you see it in electric vehicles as well.
It's much worse in electric cars because gas cars use the waste product of a combustion engine, the heat,
right.
And that's what they use to actually heat their car. But that's also why it's going to pull over to the side here and park, and then we just hit the start button again when it goes over.
Okay.
So gas cars use that waste of heat from the combustion to heat the car, and the pro of that is it's very thermally and it's very efficient, but the con of it is when the car's not heated up, you have no heat in the car, so you have to wait for the engine to heat up for the car to heat up. That's the only real con to it. Whereas older electric cars like yours use just resistant heating rods, and that's how they heated the car, and that was super inefficient. So it really decimated your batteries in winter. And then I don't know exactly what year, but Tesla came up with a new design that they call a heat pump, and it uses both electric resistant heating and it uses some, I don't know, heat exhaust from the engine, electric motor. I'm not exactly sure, but it's a heat pump system, and that has become way more thermally efficient, way more efficient than the old design. But they're still affected by range in winter, and aside from the heater affecting your range, just the battery's affected by the temperature itself. So, okay. Any snow tires or anything that you felt like you needed? You've been fine with it without snow tires?
Yeah, no, I do without. Yep.
FSD wise, what do you feel? Because I know, I don't even know if FSD was for sale when you bought yours, was it?
Oh yeah. So, I think I mentioned earlier, it was kind of an impulse buy. Not saying I regret it because I still have the vehicle. Obviously, it's 7 years later, but at the moment, it was more than I wanted to spend for a vehicle. It's just I fell in love with the driving experience. I didn't feel like I needed or wanted the FSD, and it certainly wasn't what it is now, where I can just like talk to you and not put my hands on the wheel.
Right.
I have assisted, and I can't remember what it's called exactly, but it's like assisted autopilot, where I can put it in, like I do this one doesn't have it.
The stalks on the shifter stalks on the side of the steering.
So like, you do it, I think 2 or 3 times on the Model 3, on the older ones, and it puts it in auto mode. But it drives itself
on highways, but you have to keep your hand on the wheel.
Yep.
Okay.
It asks for you, like it knows that you're holding onto it or not.
Yeah.
So,
It's making sure you're paying attention.
Yep.
Okay. Do you like FSD in this new version? What's your opinion of what we have here?
This is crazy, man. Yeah, I mean, like, seriously, you have to experience it for yourself to know how crazy it really is for you to just trust that the vehicle will do what you normally would do yourself. It might actually maybe even better, right? Like it actually follows the rules as you're supposed to. Not that we don't follow them, but like
people kind of bend rules.
Yeah, a little bit, right? With the creeping into the 4-stop way signs and stuff. Really good. I mean, I am extremely impressed, right? And I am a techie guy, so like just the fact that we can do this, really is amazing. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
What is your favorite thing about your Tesla ownership? From, one thing, is it the tech that you can do things on your phone? Is it the driving experience, the electric? What has been your favorite part about owning a Tesla?
Oh man, that's a loaded question. So full disclosure, I am kind of looking to, maybe that's one of the later questions today, but I'm looking to to get out of the Model 3 Tesla, not because I've gotten bored of it, but because it is my only vehicle now. I would like to have maybe more of a hybrid approach. But the favorite feature for a Tesla, I do like the fact that, like, you know, it's a software-driven company and car, and so it's neat that when a new update comes out, like, your screen might look a little bit different, or it might be more efficient. I unfortunately don't have, like, the screens in the back like some of the new Model 3s and Model Ys have, for, like, little ones in the back to watch stuff. So that's pretty neat. But, like, what I've liked has just been the fact that, you know, there's the controls is this big, like, iPad looking screen. That was very, very unique when I first bought the vehicle, and it still kind of is. I know there's a lot more that are getting into.
They've gotten bigger in a lot of cars.
Yeah.
When Teslas first came out, there was reports that people were getting pulled over by police because they thought they had, like, tablets on their dashboard, and it was illegal. And they found out it's the OEM spec. But sorry. Continue.
No, and the app, right? I think for those of you who are Tesla owners, like, the app, the fact that you can just warm it up so that when you get in the car it's warm, and you can turn it on from afar. You can, you know, change it to valet mode if you want to do that. If someone else is driving, that you want to maybe make sure that they don't go over a certain speed limit. So the app, the integration of, like, the vehicle with the tech and the phone app has kind of been my favorite element of the Tesla. And then, of course, I can't ignore the fact that, you know, you can go from 0 to 60. I don't have the performance Model 3 from back in the day.
But they're still quick. They're still fun.
Yeah. It was like 4.1, 4.2, so that's pretty neat.
Yeah, compared to regular cars, gas cars, unless you have some real nice high-end performance car, a regular Tesla would decimate things in the class for at least straight line 0 to 60 stuff.
Oh, I have some fun stories about that, but we can save that for a different day.
Perfect. On the opposite end, what has been your least favorite, your least desirable experience about owning a Tesla?
I don't know why I'm jaded about the whole tire thing. I mentioned it now a couple times. I just didn't really anticipate that level of cost needed as I owned the vehicle. Now, again, I haven't had to pay for, like, gas for a while, and electricity, at least in Wisconsin, is cheaper. Mm-hmm. Even though gas is pretty cheap right now, it's still cheaper to maintain the car fueled or ready to go. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the tire thing maybe has been the least, and then mine has devalued quite a bit, and it makes sense, right? The Teslas have only gotten better since it's 7 years in. So, you know, right now, if you look at KBB, for example, for my own vehicle, it's like at around between the $15,000 and $20,000 range to, like, trade in.
You think if you had a gas car, it would have held its value better?
Not every gas car, but
right, depends on the one.
Yeah, depending on the other ones. Yeah, it doesn't bother me though. Like, I knew that was going to be the case, and I knew I would own the vehicle longer term than maybe most. But now, like I said, I'm kind of looking to maybe get into a larger vehicle, and then in the hybrid sense.
So that's my last question here for you. I was going to ask, would you buy another EV or another Tesla? But you've already said you're looking for more of a hybrid. So I'm curious, are you just looking for a larger vehicle, or is there something about the electric car that now that you've had one for so long, you want to get back into a gas car for a specific reason?
Yeah.
Whatever the reason is, share it.
I think the hybrid approach makes it so I commute quite a bit, meaning, like, every day I'm going in and out of work to go home and back.
20 miles, 30 miles?
It's not that much, yeah. It's like 20-minute drive. So, like, you know, the hybrid is supposed to be this best of both worlds. So, like, I would use the electric element of a hybrid to get me to and from work, but then I don't have to deal with the potential range anxiety, if you will, of you know, if I wanted to go take a road trip, and if I am gonna just keep one vehicle, it would be nice to not have to, like, maybe plan my routes, because I have taken road trips with my Model 3, mm-hmm. and I've had nothing bad to say about, like, having to stop somewhere for 20-30 minutes as opposed to, like, a quick fuel up, which would take 5-10 minutes. It's not that bad at the end of the day. You're going to the restroom, you're getting something to eat while you're stopping. You can fill your day with a lot of things, so that's not what bothers me. But it's really more to to have the best of both worlds, right? Is use the electric for the commute and then use gas for if I do want to go on a longer road trip, not have to really map out my route.
Okay. The light turned red. That's why it stopped.
Mm-hmm. No, this is crazy. I mean, I seriously haven't touched the steering wheel or the brake once, which is pretty amazing.
Yeah. I feel safe with FSD. I've used it a lot.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. So, and then also space. So you do still have range anxiety, and you want to get away from that, and then you're also looking for more space for your family.
Yeah, larger vehicle. So I have two little ones, and when I bought my Model 3, they weren't in the picture. So ever since I started having, let's say, a bigger family, I did always kind of yearn for a bigger vehicle. I did have two. The second one was a larger vehicle. Now that I'm down to the one, the Model Y interested me for a while, and it still does. But I think I'm actually looking maybe even larger than a Model Y. So
I get it.
Yep, like more of a regular SUV, if you will.
Right.
Yeah.
And there's no affordable 3-row or large electric SUV.
Yeah, I mean, there's
the
the Rivians. And,
Well, the X is being discontinued. Plus, it starts at like $90,000 to $100,000, which is a lot. The Rivians are, I think, I'd have to look up their prices.
Oh
but
no, they're like
they're
80
also
plus, 90 plus.
Yeah, they're also not inexpensive. And I really like the look of the new Lucid Gravity. One of my close friends just went to go test drive one because he had an Air and he was looking for a new vehicle, and he went to go test drive the Gravity because he's got a family as well. And he didn't buy it, but he really liked it. He said it was a really slick car and it looks amazing. But again, it's not inexpensive. It's quite the expensive vehicle. So if you're looking, like the Y is a affordable family car, but it's not a 3-row or it's classified as a mid-size SUV, but if you want a full-size SUV, it's not enough.
Yeah.
We're going slow because it still hasn't hit the next. No, it is. Tap the gas a little bit. It should encourage it to undelay a little bit. No, the throttle.
Yeah.
Oh,
I did already. See if it.
There we go. Okay. Well, that kind of wraps up those questions, but we have a few minutes yet here on this drive. So I do want to ask you just kind of a weird out-of-the-park question, is accessories. Have you had any accessories that you bought that you really liked for your vehicle, or has accessories really never been a thing for you for your Tesla?
Not really, no. I'm a pretty simple guy in that regard as well. I don't, you can't, I don't know if you can say that if you have a Tesla, but I don't have accessories. I've never really looked at buying any. At one point I kind of saw like an organizer for the middle console, but it's not. Didn't want it bad enough to get one, so
I get it. All right, well, that's it. Henry, thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thank you. Peace.
Thanks, guys. If you like this kind of content, please like and subscribe. If you have questions or comments, leave it down below. Thanks.